today we have one of our sisters from Nigeria who is currently in Canada. So she's going to share with us how she got there and any other advantages in this same line of our career so that we can also embark on the same thing. So without much ado, the first part we always introduce ourselves. My name is Yaobre and I'm in the US side and she's going to introduce herself. So if you haven't followed the channel, if you're interested in knowing about international teaching routes, my channel is the best place. All right, my sister, so introduce yourself and I will commence with the questioning.
All right, my name is Mrs. Jessica Itete, and I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I'm from Nigeria, originally from Nigeria,
Okay.
and I've been in Canada for over 4 years now.
Wow.
And I have been teaching for, say, from Nigeria, I've been teaching I was teaching 12 years plus
Okay.
before I moved to Canada, and then in Canada, I've been teaching full-time for 2 years
For
plus.
2
now.
years, so like 14 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So what were you teaching specifically in Nigeria?
So, first off, I taught kindergarten, and then after my graduation, I taught like what we call middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I taught English language, and then I taught literature and English. I also taught senior secondary, which is like
High
exam
school.
preparatory class.
Okay.
Yes, high school. And I also taught those classes, English language and literature and English. So I have taught children. I have taught English language for middle and high school.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So your major is in English language?
Yeah, so I read linguistics,
Wow.
and that was my first degree, language and linguistics. Then I went on to do a postgraduate diploma in education, a master's degree in educational administration and policy studies. Then I actually came to Canada to study international masters in teaching English language,
Oh, that's
which
good.
is called educational linguistics.
Educational linguistics.
So yeah,
Perfect. Okay, so you've had a very wonderful educational history back in Nigeria. Now, what really motivated you to, change your setting and relocate to the to Canada to start with a new journey?
when I got into teaching,
Mhm.
my mom is a teacher, so let me just put that out there. She was a teacher, she's retired now. So when I got into teaching, I built on her expertise based on what I saw her do at home, some of the work she would bring home. And that was where the interest came from. I finished my bachelor's degree. I looked at telecommunications because I read linguistics, but there was always something about teaching. So when I got an offer to teach, I thought, okay, let's make the best out of this.
Okay.
I had seen teachers that would struggle, but I told myself that I needed to make the best out of every opportunity that I'm given, right? So
Okay.
as a teacher, I stopped relying solely on course books and textbooks. I would always go to the internet and see what other countries were doing, especially with regards to English language. For literature and English, we always revolve around literature texts that we analyze. And even at that, I still dug the internet for extra information to
Okay.
teach my students. So I noticed that in bid to always see what's happening out there, I realized that there was more for me to do. I felt like I was being held down
Okay.
by the system. I knew that there was more. I was in an environment where people were just comfortable with, with whatever they were doing, just have lesson notes. Some people will repeat lesson notes, and I never did that. So I would always, because I want something new, I want to build upon what I already have every year.
Yeah.
So I'm not that teacher whose students can hand over their note to another student, because there is always something new.
New. Yeah.
So in big to do that, I saw that people were doing a lot more in schools as students and as teachers. So I became dissatisfied with my space. And I thought that, it's time for me to seek more, because I felt like there was more for me. Yeah.
So the main drive was you pushing further to, discover more on the other side.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. All right. So I know there are teachers who went out of Nigeria through a teaching route, and you are mentioning you went out with a study route. So what made you decide on the schooling route?
So two things involved.
Okay.
Nigerian English is like, we teach English language on the premise of the British English standard. So I was looking at how to get into teaching in the UK, and I already started making inquiries about getting my teacher's quality, something about
QTS.
QTS, I already reached out. They already told me the requirements, but I was looking at the survival and immigration stand for Nigerians in the UK. And then what would it look like for my family as well? Like my husband has to be on board with me as to how we're going to survive in the UK. So UK became a secondary option when we saw that their immigration structure was not very favorable for us.
Yeah.
So I looked at Canada. I applied to a couple of schools and I got a couple of offers. But I had been teaching education. I've been teaching linguistics. So when I got the offer in educational linguistics, I was like, okay, I've been teaching English language. So this program is meant for international students that have been teaching English language. So I think this is most suitable for me. So, and I also realized that to get into teaching in Canada, you need a work permit.
Good.
As at then. So how do I get work permit? I have to get a job offer. How do I get a job in teaching? I need a teaching license. So there was no way I was going to get a teaching job without a work permit. There was no way I was going to get a work permit without a teaching job. So I just left those two. I said, okay, let me come in and study. So I came in, studied, and automatically as a student, you get a work permit. For my time, I had a full-time work permit. Though I came in and I was doing early childhood education, because I got those licenses from Nigeria as well, for like Canadian licenses when I was in Nigeria. So when I came in, those were like the first jobs I got. I was working in a daycare, caring for children based on the experience I had also from teaching kids.
And at the same time schooling?
At the same time schooling full time.
Is it still the same? Can students still work full time?
No, now I think students are to work
20 hours.
20 hours.
Yeah.
Yes. During school period, and I think they can work 40 or more during off school period.
Okay.
Yes. So that was how I came into school.
Okay.
And then I was able to get the work permit that will enable me get the teaching license, that will enable me get the teaching job. Yeah.
At the moment, on our side, we've had so many teachers who are going through a lot. There are a lot of frustration going on because of the new U.S. immigration policy. Every blessed day, there is something new coming out from
I can imagine
the landlord's end. And at the moment, we have a lot of people who have started with the pathway to teach Canada process, West is delaying them and other stuff. So have you ever had anyone, who applied to a school in Canada and they were offered a job offer? Has it happened before, or do you know anyone who went through that route?
I haven't seen any teacher who got a job offer from outside of Canada. I haven't seen any.
Okay, all right.
But I don't think it is impossible because there's a structure that says it is. But I haven't seen any. Okay,
good. All right. So now, since you mentioned you were able to secure some teaching licenses back in Nigeria, but you got stuck at the point where they requested for a work permit. So can you take us through the licensing process? How is the credential evaluation done? What process did you follow to get all that before you even swerved a little into the schooling route?
Okay, so let me put it out there. Early childhood education license is very different from teaching license.
Okay.
So in Nigeria, I was a teacher, a certified licensed teacher. So why did I decide to get early childhood? I'll call it ECE going forward. Why did I decide to get early childhood educator's license before leaving Nigeria? As an ECE, there was also an immigration pathway that some provinces needed ECE, licensed ECEs, who didn't have a work permit. They just had a plan for people who had license to come into Canada based on the shortage of the province, and that would be the province of Saskatchewan.
Is it still available? Are they still running that program?
I am not sure if they still have that route, but ECE is always in demand.
In demand, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can double check, but I don't know. They change their structures all the time. So I applied to West for verification based on my education experience and all of that. And then West gave me the equivalent, which was also sent to the Saskatchewan EC
SPTRB.
board.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they gave me a level 1 license. Then after I did my master's in Nigeria, I reached out to them that, I have additional
Qualification.
No, I think what I did, they told me what to do to get level 2, which was what was needed for immigration, for the Saskatchewan immigration. So they gave me some courses that these are the options I can take. So while in Nigeria, I enrolled for those courses at Algonquin College, Ontario, which is in Canada.
Online.
And it was quite expensive. Yes, wow. I did it online. I took those courses online, about 4 courses. And I took them within May and September of that year, during COVID, I guess. Yes, 2020. So after that, I didn't need to go through West because that was from a Canadian institution. So I sent it to Saskatchewan, and then they gave me level 2.
Okay. Can I come in?
I got into the pool.
Let me chip in this before I forget. So, was it because you didn't have a full major in ECE back home? Okay, yes. So if someone has a full major bachelor's degree in ECE, she or he wouldn't go that route.
You will get a level 3 most likely.
Wow. Okay.
Let's put it out. I did my first degree in arts.
Okay.
I didn't do education in bachelor's degree. My bachelor's degree
I get it now.
Arts. So that was how I got a level 2, which was the minimum requirement.
Okay.
But I was in that pool for a very long time and nothing was happening. So then I got admission and then I came to school. But I already had the license for level 2. So with that, I got a job when I came to Canada, even as a student.
That's good. And
so I was equipped.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys, if you are following the conversation, I think she really had a strategy, even from Nigeria, trying to weigh all the routes and making sure that she needs to get this and that. Because when she got here, she was even able to get a job alongside the school. I didn't know you could do like that. So guys, let's have a strategy right from home. Now, one other question that I wanted to ask is, how was the monetary responsibilities like when you decided to go through the educational route, the schooling route?
So as an international student, we know that the tuition is usually minimum double.
Yeah.
Mostly triple the fee for domestic students. So the entire tuition for my program was about 24,000 Canadian dollars. Very important that you have a plan, especially like a financial plan.
Yeah.
When you want to migrate, don't just assume that it's a land flowing with milk and honey and then it's going to work out. Even when you have a plan, it's usually not easy, but it helps.
Yeah.
Right. So I came in as a student, had some funds, but because I was working, I managed to struggle through, and with the support of my family as well. My husband and kids came in after like 5 months after I came in, so that was also helpful for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you get any funding at the school to supplement what you had?
Before I came in, I got a scholarship. From the 24,000, there was a 2,500 scholarship for me. Then after we did our practicum,
okay,
based on our performance, we also got some 1,500-ish from the school. Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like you are now recommending that if people want to come on this route, they should also look at the teaching route. So are there any schools you know of head that you can recommend to people who want to go through the same route?
So the program I came to study, I've moved now from education to arts. So I wouldn't recommend that for people, because if you're coming in to do education, please make sure that program is under education department.
Okay.
So that being said, I know Vancouver Island University, which is in British Columbia, has a good structure for education. I don't know if you can hear my dryer. Can I go and turn it off?
You sound okay. I can't hear anything.
Okay, so we can go on.
Yeah, we can.
So, VIU is in British Columbia. Then we have University of New Brunswick. And then most of the colleges. Ontario has so many colleges. Most of the colleges in Canada have education program.
Okay.
Now remember, ECE is different from teaching license.
All right.
So if I'm talking about how I got into teaching, then it's different. I had to go to the teaching board, which is different from the ECE board.
Okay.
And then they will request, if you've had experience from back home, they'll need your teaching license, your teaching certificate, evidence of experience maybe from the schools you've taught, and a letter of professional standing from your national teaching board.
Okay.
So those were the things I needed to bring, or I brought in. I reached out to the TRCN of Nigeria, and they gave me those documents and the schools that I taught as well. And then paid some money, about 250 Canadian dollars.
Okay.
For internationally educated teachers.
All right.
And so they gave me the license, which I moved to Alberta, because when you have a license that is processed in one province, you can take it to another province. That province will send a letter of professional standing to the new province, and it will give you a license.
It's the same over here.
So you don't need to go through the process again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So with that, you can now teach in the school.
Perfect. All right.
But with ECE license, you are to work in a daycare or a childcare center.
Okay.
Or to set up a daycare.
Okay.
Depending on your level.
So at the moment, this is where I've gotten into my research about how people can relocate to Canada, even from outside it. I've heard that most schools that tend to recruit people from outside, maybe the Catholic and the private schools in the rural areas. How true is that?
I'm currently working in a rural area. That's why I told you that there is a structure. But I don't know what the setbacks would be, why it's not rampant, or why I haven't seen people come in as teachers.
Okay.
So there is what Canada calls LMIA.
Okay.
Labor Market Impact
Assessment.
So employers that have LMIA are eligible to bring in people under work permit. My school division has LMIA. That's what they told me before I got PR, because I didn't get my PR before I got the job. I was just on work permit and I got this job. So it was while I was on this job, which I think we will talk about, like the pathway to PR as a teacher. So it was why I got this job that I became a permanent resident.
Mm-hmm.
So if you as an employer, a school division, which most of the school divisions in rural Canada have LMIA because of the shortage. So most of them have this so that they can have people come work for them. And then there are people inside Canada that will just target the rural areas because they are working towards their work permit extension or permanent residency.
Okay.
So when you have LMIA as a school division, you can employ workers from outside Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can apply for work permits and come in.
Okay, great. So
when you are a teacher and you come into Canada, you are teaching on work permits. When you work for at least 6 months, or now, that's what it is now, you can apply for permanent residency.
6 months?
6 months experience is the minimum requirement.
Wow.
So when you come in, you do your language test, you do all your credentials to show that you have a job offer, you have a valid work permit, create your express entry profile, and then wait to get invitation to apply.
Would you?
So
okay, you continue.
They have a pathway category for teachers, and this is not just teachers, for both teachers and early childhood educators, or anybody working in the school sector.
Okay. Now, would you recommend someone start with the language assessment, even as they are outside Canada at the moment? Would you recommend someone to start with it? I'm talking about the CELPIP and the IELTS.
One of the things that employers like to see is that you are qualified to stand before, especially as an immigrant, is that you are qualified to talk to the students.
Okay.
Your language assessment will just be a plus. For me, I am somebody that would want to have a language assessment because I'm somebody that just likes to be proactive.
Yeah.
I can have my language assessment and then I come in as a worker. And then immigration says, oh, we just want to take the teachers that are ready now, regardless of your work experience, for PR. you can't catch me unprepared. So I always want people to be prepared. So if it's something that you will need in time ahead, get it now. It's valid for 2 years, right? So get it and come in and add it so the things you want to show that these are some of my credentials. Even if they interview you, they are talking with you, they've seen your person, they still want to see evidence.
Okay, good.
Like on documents.
All right, now let's swerve a little bit to job search. So you were in Canada after schooling. How did you search? Are there some listing platforms where you go to look out for jobs after getting your license?
Yes, so I made a post about applytoeducation.com.
Okay,
That is
education.com. Okay.
one of the biggest teaching platform that we have in Canada. I think it's a worldwide platform, but you can narrow down to Canada and your province and your desired city and your subject.
Okay.
So you can narrow down and search. And this is both teaching and non-teaching roles, even early childhood education. So applytoeducation.com is very good. There is another one that is I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get it. But that was my biggest one, was applytoeducation.com.
Okay.
So I think it's teach.com or teach.ca. Let me see. Then there is also my job I got from Indeed.
Indeed. Okay.
So Indeed,
I think Indeed has a filtering option for companies with LMIA. Indeed, yeah.
Yes, they show you.
Okay.
Then on apply.com, I think they will also state the requirements.
Okay. That's good.
Some of them we say should have or should be in the process of getting their license. Okay. For me, even just sending an email to the body that does licensure is already the process for me. So okay. I didn't have the license for Alberta before I came here, but I started the process with. I had even sent documents from Nigeria to Nova Scotia when I got my job. I just paid for it, and then they requested those documents. That was where I was when I got this teaching job.
Okay. So, how powerful is a statement of eligibility in applying for a job? Please hold on. So, for those who don't know what statement of eligibility is a temporary document that shows that you are in the process of acquiring a professional teaching license in Canada. So, how powerful is that in the process of securing a job offer?
So, for me, that was like the check mark for my employers. That's what they used to believe that, yes, I've contacted these people.
Okay.
I just attached my emails and what I had done.
Okay.
To my employers, and then they said, yeah, they hired me even when I didn't have the provincial license. So it's important. It shows that you are serious about what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And if I were an employer and I see people that have started to get what they need to get it, I think I would like it. It will mean that this person is proactive, and okay. Teachers should be proactive because you are going to be managing learners.
Yeah.
So if you are proactive, it shows that you are good for the job. It's one of the good features that you should have. So yes, it helps. It informs your employers that this is where you are and this is what you're working with. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so
I see educationcanada.com is also another website where you have job opportunities.
All right, educationcanada.com.
Yes, and then Teach for Canada. That was what I was looking for.
Teach for Canada.
Teachforcanada.ca.
It's a government website.
Yes.
.ca, yeah. Teach for Canada.
There are many more, but I don't know. I've not seen this pathway to teach.ca. I've not seen it before, but I can see the website here. So I don't know if it's a government.
All right. Now let's talk about resumes. How different is the Canadian resume style to what you had in Nigeria?
So Nigerian resume, you want to put everything that you've done because we are so difficult to please. So we want to please our employers. We want to put everything in there. But the Canadian resume, Too much information, it's a minus. So I'll give you an example of what my resume looks like.
Okay.
My resume begins with my name and my email, and then phone number.
Okay.
Just beneath is a 2-sentence, or even 1 sentence, maybe broken into 2, about my objective. So when you pick my resume, you know, okay, I'm applying as a kindergarten teacher in a place. I'll just put an objective, 1 strong sentence of who I am, what I'm looking for, or who I am, what I've done, and what I'm looking for. A qualified kindergarten teacher with so years of experience. And then maybe your most important feature or asset as a teacher, who is good at, maybe you just write, who is good at managing children of this age, or teaching children through play. Just something very simple. If I were in Nigeria and I want to put an objective there, I'll have like 3 sentences. But just 1 short sentence talking about who you are, where you are, and what you've done or what you want to do. That's all.
Okay.
Then next, you want to put your experience. What have you done? The name of the place and your role. And just use bullet points to give your duties. Straight up, not sentence. Child management, team lead, this, just prompts like that. You don't need to make it too much. When it's too much, I believe they don't read it, or they feel you are overqualified.
Okay.
Something else you want to do is to make sure that the experience you want to put there are experiences that are connected to the job you are looking for.
Yeah.
So if you washed plates before, you don't need to put it there because you're not going to wash plates now. Yeah. If you were working in a hospital and you were caring for kids, and you want to come in as a teacher and you will work with kids, you can mention that you worked with kids, where you maximize health and safety of children. So, but make sure the roles you want to put in, and you don't need more than 3. Put experiences that connect to the job. It can be 1 if it's 1 you have. It can be 2. It can be a volunteer service. But make it as simple and short as possible. Most Canadian resumes are 1 page long. Maximum 2. So, and then next, maybe after your experience, add your education, and it can be your highest education.
Okay.
Your highest level of education. If you've had some certifications, just bullet points, mention those certifications. References can be available on demand. That's all. That's what a standard Canadian resume should look like.
Do we include our image? A picture?
You don't include your picture. You don't include even your date of birth is not necessary. If you want to put address, maybe because of where the job is, you want to show that proximity is not a problem. That's a hand, and you can just put your postal code. That's all. You don't need to put number 5. This. Just your city and postal code is even enough, if at all. You don't need to put your image. You don't need to put your middle name and baptismal name. You don't need to. You don't need your image. No.
I wanted to ask because where we are coming from, people don't mind putting in their date of birth, their baptismal date.
Yes. So we even have some quotes. They will make it like this, and then they have quotes on the side. Some resumes are. I remember when I was looking for a job in Nigeria, somebody said, I have a 17-page resume. And I'm like, how old are you? I cannot read 17-page resume as somebody that wants to hire you. And maybe for politicians, that would be okay.
Yeah.
But what do you want to bring?
Okay. So now let's talk about the main dues. What are the monetary remuneration? Like, how is the salary like? I'm talking about the benefits.
I made a video recently, and I made a video about how I was carrying bags, and I said how I thought I would receive my pay as a teacher.
I watched it.
That was the reality. Okay, but what can I say? I can't complain. I'm happy.
Okay.
And I'm comfortable. So that I'm talking from my perspective.
Okay.
Now, the average pay for a teacher in Alberta, which is from the least experience to the highest experience, would be 65,000 Canadian dollars per annum to 125,000 per annum. So you can choose, like, depending on your experience and your level of qualification. But the minimal employment for teachers in northern, because I'm in rural Canada.
Okay.
So the minimum is 65,000 per annum.
Which is not bad.
So, but that's not what you will take home. You will pay taxes.
Oh, definitely. It's still the same over here. I think the average now is like 42, 45. It's almost like that's 65,000. So it's
Yes.
But the key thing is, do teachers have other benefits aside their monthly salaries?
Yes. So there is a body that's for us in Alberta. For me, I'm with what we call ASEBP. So this is like a teacher's insurance body. Now they help you to manage and give you some perks as a teacher. So you're a teacher, you are traveling, and there is a problem. They have funds available for you that you can access. And this is for both you and your family. Yeah? You can have, but you have, and I think I pay very little that I pay monthly that is deducted from my salary. So I pay part of it, and then my employers pay part of it.
Okay.
So my kids and myself can access dental care, which is very expensive outside. So my kids have a window of over 2,000 to 4,000 Canadian dollars a year that they can access. I get massage like every 3 months for free. There are medications that I can go on for free, like they pay for them. There are those perks. Then there is retirement, there is debt benefits. Yes. And then for those teachers that are in northern Alberta, you are paid to stay in the north.
Okay.
Because we have really extreme cold, so you have additional benefits yearly for that as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And how expensive is accommodations?
I think because for someone like me who has lived in Nova Scotia, I was living in Halifax, which is like the biggest city in Halifax. So compared to where I am now, I'll just give the figures so maybe people can just do the math. So in Halifax, I was living in an apartment. So apartment is a big building with different units. I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was paying 2,200 before bills. So that means every month I still get my bills in to pay, and I paid an average of 250 monthly for my power, water, yes, and internet. So during winter I can
really go up
to 300 to 400 sometimes. So, but here in rural Alberta, I pay, my rent is 1,700.
Why would I stay in the city?
1,700. This includes all my bills. So the actual rent is 1,003 something. Then the bills is 3 something. So this bill includes cleaning my snow, clearing the grasses, my light. I can do laundry 10 times a day, water, heating, everything. 1,780. That's what I pay every month.
It makes sense.
And I just relax.
It makes sense because if they are not giving you so much money, rent shouldn't go up like that.
That was the case for Halifax. Like the pay was so minimal. So when this offer came, I was like, it's teaching. It's what I've always wanted to do, and it's with the government. I'm leaving. I'm going. I want to see. The people are like, this is far. You don't know where that place is. I said, it's Canada.
It's
Canada. Yes. And I'm glad I took that decision, because from that we were able to get our permanent residency.
Look at that.
And all is going fine now. Yeah.
All right. So those of you who are trying to relocate, this is not the first time I'm hearing this. Almost everybody I speak to are recommending going into the rural part, and you get your PRs easier. Don't try to stay in the city. I know you love to stay in the city, so try and if you are getting a job offer, look for places in the rural areas so that you can easily settle down over there. Now let's talk about classroom culture shock and adaptation. So the first one, what was your biggest cultural shock as a teacher?
So I did substitute when I was in Halifax. So I was a substitute teacher in Halifax, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a substitute teacher, I was a substitute teacher in middle school. So that would be my first time in Canadian classroom, school classroom. So one of the things that was surprising to me was the student-teacher relationship.
Okay.
In Nigeria, students cannot call you by your name. They don't pronounce whether it's your last name.
Yeah.
Here is last name basis. They don't use first name except maybe outside school setting. But at school, they call you your last name here. So what was surprising to me beyond that was how students were made to learn the teacher's last name. I said, well, they can just call me Jessica, because I was already working with children outside and I didn't have any problem with them calling me my name. I mean, I'm in Canada now. I know children call their parents and grandparents by their first name. But the school system would insist that the students should learn that itiete. They should learn it and call the teacher by their last name.
Yeah.
That was one. Another thing that was surprising to me was how the announcements on
a PA
during using the microphone, like there's no assembly. You know, back in Nigeria, students must gather in the morning. You have to preach. They have to hear the announcements. We check their uniforms, and then they march to their classrooms. But here, everybody walks in straight to the classroom, and then from your class, you hear the microphone for the national anthem, Lord's Prayer, and announcements. And so that was also very different for me.
Okay.
The last one I would add is the amount of resources that they are heavily vested in resources. So they want us to teach writing. They could pay the teachers to go out and be trained and learn just one thing that they can add to what they already have. They invest heavily in resources. And these are some of the things that makes the standard higher than where we're coming from. Yeah.
And what about curriculum?
So, you know, like I said, before I came, I was already doing a little bit of sneak peek into using their system or like structure to teach back home. So I saw that sometimes I felt like the curriculum for even, because I teach kindergarten, right? I felt like what I had to do as a kindergarten teacher was way more than what I was doing in Nigeria. So there is outcomes that must be met.
Yeah.
And then these outcomes, they are so closely connected. So you're teaching literacy, you're teaching numeracy, you're teaching connectivity. They are all interwoven. So it gives you a flow.
Yeah.
And then the subject areas are not enormous. Back home, we have up to between 9 to 14 subjects. So here, if they are doing 4 subjects, one subject we have like different things that they are doing under that subject. And you can see how when they do a little bit of paperwork, they are also heavy on research, craft, you know, self-study. And that's something that is also different from where we're coming from. Back home, we copy notes. We copy up to 16 pages of
lesson notes
a day. And students are not even, like, even you give students notes, they don't even read, they don't have the reading culture. But here, the reading culture is not very heavy, but you see that practical things, those practical things they do, it drives home learning a lot. So that's something that is different from our curriculum. Their subject spectrum, like, it's not broad like what we use back home. It's small, but it's like 5 subjects, but it has a lot of structure around it.
Yeah.
So to teach a topic, you have to teach it in different ways. And at the end of the day, you see that the students really understand what you want them to understand.
All right.
Yeah.
I know you are in kindergarten, so student behavior wouldn't be so much a problem. And have you heard certain stories from your colleague teachers who are probably in elementary or the middle school level complaining about students' behavior?
Yeah.
And how's it like?
It's a real challenge. Um, it's not I don't think it's a location inclined thing. It's something I dealt with even in Nigeria. So one thing I would always point out is instead of jumping to fix a situation, always dig to know why.
That's it.
So when children pose challenging behavior, it's important to know why they're acting the way they are doing. Most children we see today are struggling, especially the ones that look like they are very okay. They are struggling. Sometimes children can just come up with different behaviors, and you as a teacher, you know that, oh, this person, that's strange. For me, for middle school children, I would try to create an atmosphere where they can talk. Young people always want to feel heard. They want you to treat them like adults.
Yeah.
Because that's how they see themselves. Except when it's time to become a responsible adult, then they don't want to be. But in their head, they just feel like, why do you think you can talk to me like that? Why do you think you can tell me to do this? Why? Because they think they are adults. They think they are grown. And then some of them are dealing with issues from home.
Yeah.
Some of them are dealing with developmental crisis, puberty, peer pressure, social influences. And some of these children that are dealing with these things, they don't have friends or family members that they can actually confide in. So it comes out in their behavior.
Okay.
I've had teachers complain about students who don't listen, students who are racially, like they just discriminate people racially. And some of those, I would say, some of them, family can be a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe the family, he or she comes from a home where they do that, and so the child might be ignorant. Some of them are ignorant on the adverse effects of what they do. So if you're treating the students like an adult, you can have a conversation with them and hear them. The students will hear you when they feel that you've heard them. When a student feel that they can confide in you, they've trusted you. Build trust and let them talk to you. And you listen without being judgmental. And then you give your advice as gradual as you can, as possible as you can. And then you can refer some to therapists if need be. Because schools have those features that students and teachers can access. But it's a real problem, and I want to point out that it is not just from this region. It is louder here because back home we have strong disciplinary measures.
Yeah.
And sometimes even those disciplinary measures, they bounce back at us. But we have those in place that children use to check behavior. But here, the disciplinary measures are not strong. Instead, we focus on what caused this. And then we want to attack it from that premise. And I feel like it works because it fixes the problem to the best of our ability.
That's good. Now, last two questions. One is, looking back, is there anything you wish you had known before starting this journey?
I feel like I wish I started earlier.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I did a lot of everything about my immigration. I did myself. So you can tell that I'm somebody that would do my research. I wish I started early. That's what I would say. So far, I think it's just always prepare yourself for the worst, and so that when things doesn't happen the way you plan, you are not swept off your feet. So I think if I had started earlier, that's what I wish I knew before the time I did.
Okay. And the last question is, what is the single best piece of advice you would give to a Nigerian teacher watching this video right now who wants to move to Canada?
You're not a teacher until you are licensed or and certified. So if you're a teacher and you're watching me and you don't have your documents, you're not a teacher yet. That's number one. Sorry, just a second. Okay. Then secondly, be prepared. Don't wait for people to tell you. Almost everything, if not everything, is online.
Yeah.
And finally, as a teacher, how do you think you're going to be relevant in the next 10 years, especially with the emergence of AI?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question.
What are you doing about it? Yes, that's what I want teachers to start thinking about. Yeah.
Guys, thank you for staying glued to your screens. I have a very fruitful discussion with my sister from Canada. She's Jessica. She said a lot about how you can land yourself a teaching job in Canada. Actually, she went through the schooling route, and she said a lot. She's really, really, really spoken so much that I've picked some clues. I know my wife is an EC teacher, so I've really written down some key points that I'll also be pursuing for my wife. Is there any other thing you'd want to add today? Any shout outs? Do you have people you want to say hi to back home in Nigeria and back home in Canada?
I remember when I said I didn't want to teach, my dad told me, my daughter, the openings we have in our country are in the classroom.
Yeah.
And you've been showing that you can do it. I want to thank my dad for making me broaden my vision to pick this profession, which has become my life. I want to do a lot of things, but I don't think quitting teaching is one of them. So I think in the next 10 years, if there are still teachers, I'm still going to be amongst them, even if I'm doing other things.
That's great.
I want to thank my husband. He has been very supportive. He is someone that would say, you can achieve, keep pushing. And that's something that is rare nowadays. I want to thank my children. The struggle hasn't been easy, but it's been beneficial, and I'm grateful that they've been amazing. I want to thank my friends, my siblings, and I want to say thank you, Mr. Yo. This would be the first connection I would make on TikTok, and which is the platform we met on, by the way. I have seen your videos. I see what you do. I am coming back with questions, so get ready.
So, if you are prepared, we can take a sip of water, then we will cool down and kill everything today. If you think you have all the questions prepared.
No, I don't have them prepared.
Okay, all right.
I just have a couple of questions, but I don't want to ask them here, so I'll prepare.
Okay,
and
good.
Then maybe next weekend.
No problem.
Next Monday, anytime you are free.
No problem. No problem.
We
you just
can talk about it.
I think
lots of questions.
Really? Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
And I just want to say thank you to you for what you do. Many teachers are struggling. Many teachers don't even know that they can do a lot more than what they are doing right now.
Yeah.
The teaching profession has evolved. It has evolved beyond what I used to know it to be. And I'm so happy, and I will always be proud to be a teacher. So remember, keep up the good work, keep fighting. The Immigrant Teacher on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can follow me for more. And yeah.
Please tell them your social media handle so that they will start following you right now.
Okay, it's Jessica, the Immigrant Teacher on TikTok. My page is the Immigrant Teacher on Facebook.
Okay.
And I think it's just I can't remember my Instagram.
Are you on YouTube?
Yes, the Immigrant Teacher on YouTube as well.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
I'm new to all of this, so just follow me and encourage me.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
So my goal is to bring out as much information as I can, especially on job openings, and a little content on the life of a teacher in rural Canada. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Sister Jessica, for all the time you spent with us.
Me.
I know everybody though it is summer, but everybody has one or two things on their plate they are dealing with, but you decided to have time for us. It's almost 1 hour, and we don't take it for granted. We appreciate you so much, my listeners and Thank you. So as we said, we have a rematch. I will go on her channel to talk about US. I'm pretty sure we're going to spend a very good time together. Maybe the latter part of this week or next week. So guys, you see us again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You too.
All right. Bye.